Schools are businesses. Once again, schools are businesses. They want to make money. I hope you guys are doing good. I'm just gonna share my experience with you guys, why I dropped out of school. The thing is that a lot of people forget that schools are businesses. Schools run like businesses. When I say that, they want to make money. So whatever they do, in a way, they don't really care about students. They don't really care about you. They want to make money. They themselves are competing with other schools. And it's sad that a lot of people forget that. They forget that they advertise, they do the same thing as marketing. They, like, for example, you might even search about a university, whatever, on Google. And then you go on Facebook or you go on Instagram, and then all of a sudden you see like an ad. See, that's the marketing. They want your money. And, I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying, just be aware what their intention is. Not everything they show is, because, they want you to have an education. They want you to be smart. It's not always about that. So just be aware of that. And number two, everything that we learn in school is good. It's important to learn the theories. It's important to go through a certificate or program or whatever to get a certain job or to get a career. But what I feel that's not good is that school doesn't teach us about real life stuff. When I say real life stuff, I mean like real life things that people really go through throughout their life. Schools usually teach about theoretical stuff, textbook stuff. But when do we ever get to learn about real things like finances, how much we're going to be in debt if, like after graduating? Schools never talk about this. So that's something that never sat well with me. So throughout my 10 years of school, through high school, through undergraduate degree, through even master's level, not once did the school teach about finance or savings or just managing money, like these real life important things. So that's an important thing, but it's never being taught to people. And I think that it's almost as if once we finish school, we don't know what we're doing with our lives. As much as we learned a lot from the textbook, we don't know what we're doing once we graduate. We don't know what to do with our life. Like, even though we have like the theories and everything that we learned, even most of the things I learned from school, I don't even remember. Like, my undergraduate degree was in law, but I don't even remember half the things I learned. But, going to this real world, working, having a job, keeping your money, managing your money, I felt like I learned more through my life experience, working, having my own job, having my own, bank account, managing all these stuff. I feel like I learned more through that than school. And I feel like that's a huge issue. So what are we actually paying for? Like, what's the whole point of school if they don't teach us real life, like real life situations, real life skills? And it's almost making me wonder, like, what was the point of me even attending high school, middle school, undergraduate degree, or doing my master's? It was all like, was it just business? Was it just for the schools to make money? Like, that's what I'm questioning. And, a lot of people don't realize that. And a lot of people think that just because they go to school, just because they get their master's or the PhD, they think that they're just going to get a nice job. But unfortunately, that's not the real thing. Nowadays, even if you have a master's degree or even a PhD, you can't even get a good job. You might be spending $100,000 for all your education, but you might be in a job that only pays you $50,000 a year. And that's a real thing. That's like a real thing that's happening today. And people spend their entire life just paying off their debt for school. And, it's just a frustrating thing, and it's a sad thing. And, it's almost getting me angry too, because I'm, like, you might have saw my first video, but I'm in that same place. I went through a master's degree. I have to now pay $45,000 back. And that's just for my master's degree. when I have to include my undergraduate degree, that's like another $24,000. So I wish I was more aware of all these financial matters before I even wanted to go through school. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking shit about school. I'm not telling you not to attend school, but I'm just saying how just think properly before you attend, or stay prepared. Because for me, I wasn't financially prepared. I just went into it because I thought it was going to get me a job right away. And that's like the most stupid thing. And, there's so many other people in this world who don't have education, who might even have the minimum education like high school, and they're so successful. They're happy with what they're doing. And I'm not saying everyone who doesn't go through education they're successful. I'm just saying how, in a way, yeah, there's so many other opportunities in this world, and it's important to be open to that. Like, my experience with my school was just extremely toxic. It's like, it was such a mental stress. It was like there was a lack of communication. I don't know if it was because of the pandemic, or I don't know if it was because I was studying online, but I don't know if other people feel the same way too. But the communication was just so horrible. Like, it was just really bad. Like, no communication on what's going on. No, there was no support too. Like, mental support, emotional support. And schools should really provide that. A lot of schools don't know how to connect with their students. And, doing a master's degree is not easy. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of it's time consuming. It's not an easy thing. And I wish the school gave more support, and they didn't. They just mostly ignored my emails. They were just coming to me, arguing with me for the most stupidest things. And it just came to a point where I just became a different person. I wasn't happy with who I was. And I'm like, what's the point of going through all this stuff? Like, is it even worth it? Like, it came to a point where my mental health wasn't in a good place. And there might be people, I'm not talking shit, but there are law students or there are medical students who go through so much stress. I don't even know how they do it. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them, they're able to manage it, but most of the time they're stressed out. The amount of statistics of people who literally suicide, like whether they're in law school or medical school, is just sad. It's really sad. It's just crazy that stress gets to them to the point where they have to end their life. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but I think it's important to always put your mental health first, always put your physical health first. Just your health always should come number one. Even if you need to take a year off of school or some time away from school, do that. I'm telling you, please do that, because I forced myself, I sacrificed my mental health so that I could get my master's degree done. And what happened to me is that in the end of the day, 4 months before graduating, it came to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just had to just let go. Just be like, F it to everything, and just focus on me and just be there for myself, because I was losing myself. I was losing my mental health, and I just gave everything, and I just put my education and everything on a pedestal. It's like I made it seem like that was the most important thing. I have no life without my education. Like, I was gonna be a loser if I don't have my education. I made myself feel that way. I put myself in that position. And if there's any of you out there watching this, please don't do that, okay? Just put your health first. And just be good to yourself, because a lot of people, you guys are not good to yourself. And yes, school is important. Yes, studies is important. You want to get a good job or a good career in the end of the day, but just put your mental health first. Put your physical health first. Just take care of yourself first. It's not worth it to sacrifice your health for a piece of paper. And I'm not bashing, degrees or certificates or, going through school, but I'm just saying it's not worth it, because there's so many other people who are just way more happier, even though they didn't go through school or they didn't, do grad school or whatever. They're still more happy, and this is becoming, I see a lot of people nowadays, they're not going through grad school. They're just happy with, just going through college or whatever. And that's totally normal, and it's never too late to change your mind. If you're at a place where you feel like you're sacrificing so much of your health for, you know, your studies, it's okay to just leave that and just take care of yourself, take care of your health. And yeah, just don't make yourself feel that way. Don't feel bad about it. Because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like right after dropping out, I did feel bad. I felt as if, you know, like maybe I could have stayed that 4 months, but because it was only 4 months, like think about it, I could have graduated in 4 months. But I'm like, no, for that 4 months, it's still my life. It's still part of my life, and I'm not just gonna give that up. I don't want those coming 4 months to be full of stress and anxiety and depression. I didn't want that. I don't want to be, you know, stress eating for the next 4 months. I never like even imagined myself to even go through that. So I told myself it wasn't even worth it, even though 4 months was like, you know, like it might just go by fast and whatever. I'm like, still, no, I wasn't okay with that. And if you're watching this, I just want you to know that it's okay. You could take time for yourself. And I want to know what you're going through, how you're feeling. So you could just comment below and just let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope to see you again.